Thank you for coming. We're really making history today. I want to introduce our speaker, Michael Herskovitz, who survived 3 concentration camps, not just one, which his lovely wife, Tanya, just reminded me of. I want to thank her for accompanying him and his driver John today. Before we get started, I'm going to hand over the floor to Steve, who's going to share a few minutes about recent day persecution, which is really important for us to learn about as we talk about the Holocaust and remembering tragedies. After Steve speaks, I'll come back for a minute, and then we'll pass it on to Michael.
Good evening for reading. Prepared some comments. The Chechen Republic is a semi-autonomous part of the Russian Federation and began, despite persecuting gay men in the past, the government has began a prophylactic sweep of gay men in February 2017, which was reported in April. 3 men are confirmed dead, and there is an unknown amount feared dead by extrajudicial killings. More than 100 men are imprisoned between the ages of 16 and 50 solely because they are gay. Local Chechen militia forces are posing as men looking for dates on gay dating sites and rounding up others by beating and forcing confessions from other gay men and looking through their phones. A 16-year-old boy has been detained in a village in Chechnya. He returned days later, according to the reports, all beaten, just a sack with bones. Those released, gay or not, are in danger of honor killings by their families. The Moscow-based gay rights group has reported that this started after gay rights activists sought permits to conduct parades for gay pride, which were denied. The reporter who initially reported the imprisonment of over 100 people is fleeing Russia after death threats. The spokesperson for the head of the Chechen government stated, "This is absolute lies and disinformation. You cannot arrest or repress people who just don't exist in the Republic. If there were such people in Chechnya, the law enforcement organs wouldn't need to have anything to do with them, because their relatives would send them somewhere from which there is no returning." The Kremlin spokesperson said on April 3rd that he could not confirm the newspaper account, but added, "This is something for law enforcement to deal with. This is not on the Kremlin's agenda." Which does the U.S. government say? Nikki Haley, the UN ambassador, made statements to the UN, but Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and Donald Trump have said nothing. Vice President Joe Biden has commented on the incidents. And the UN has released an expert report condemning the actions and calling for a response. From 1937 to 1939, the peak years of Nazi persecution of homosexuals, the police increasingly raided homosexual meeting places, seized address books, and created networks of informers and undercover agents to identify and arrest suspected homosexuals. Sounds familiar. On April 4th, 1938, the Gestapo issued a directive indicating that men convicted of homosexuality could be incarcerated in concentration camps. Between 1933 and 1945, the police arrested an estimated 100,000 men as homosexuals. Most of the 50,000 men sentenced by the court spent time in regular prisons. And between 5,000 and 15,000 were interned in concentration camps. Mauritania, Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Iran, Sudan, Nigeria, Qatar, Afghanistan, Somalia all have death penalties for homosexuality. Iraq has decriminalized homosexuality, but death sentences occur in the ISIS-controlled areas. Criminalization is the start, discrimination is the fuel, and mass arrest, detention, and death are the result. We can't live up to the promise of never again if we do not bear witness to the atrocities that continue to happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve. Just a few more things before we get started. I wanted to thank the Jewish Federation of Greater Philadelphia for connecting us with Mike. We couldn't have brought him without them. I also wanted to note that on Monday is Holocaust Remembrance Day, so we thought it was appropriate to bring Mike here this week, especially given the current political climate where it seems like some of our leaders are not as educated as they should be on the Holocaust. So that's kind of why we're doing this today. On a more personal note, my grandfather was a Holocaust survivor, and so I grew up knowing how important it was to hear survivors' stories, and I just wanted to share that with all of you. So a little bit about Mike. He survived 3 concentration camps. He started off in Czechoslovakia, and we'll share more about his amazing story. Ended up in Philadelphia, became a successful business owner of several auto businesses, which he's been able to pass on to his family, and he will tell you more details about his story in this moment.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor being here. I guess I was here last year and I've been this year again. To tell you in 2 years that I went through under the jail, under the SS, in a concentration, 3 concentrations. I was born in Czechoslovakia. I was born into a Jewish family. We were living in a village with most of them, there were about 50 families, most of them were non-Jews. There were only 2 Jewish families. One was me, the other was my uncle. And we had a little grocery store, like a mom and papa's grocery store in the village. And the village has only about 50 homes, so everybody knew us and everybody sent the kids, their mom or dad gave them the merchandise and they stopped by later on and they played. At the same time, my father bought the milk from the farmer. So every morning was still dark. He put the milk in containers, 2 liter, 5 liter, 10 liter. Early in the morning, put on a carriage and horse. He went into the city. The city was approximately 3 kilometers, not too far. And he looked at the front of the door. It used to be milkman here. If there was a 2 liter container, he took a full 2 liters and put it down. He took the empty and put it in the carriage. We had a little grocery store, like I said. While he was in the city, he bought merchandise for the grocery store. In our home was the store front, our living quarters, our the animals in the field, because every home had farm. So I was just a normal child going to school every day, like every other child. There was no difference between me and them, except, I guess, in Saturdays, whatever we eat, once in a while we went to the city after that. So as I was playing outside, and one day I seen a gentleman with a nice uniform walking through. I had no idea who he is. Not that I really cared, a child played, but this was a German soldier. A few days later, you seen a few more walking through the unpaved road. Again, just going to school every day till one day I walked into school, it's normal, and I believe I was a good child and studying. The teacher says to me, Michael, after everybody leaves, after the class is over, you stay over because I want to talk to you. So I thought myself, what did I do wrong? The teacher don't call you in except if you do something wrong. They don't call you in for a compliment. So after everybody left, I went to the bathroom to her and he said to me, I'm sorry to tell you, as of tomorrow you cannot come to school. And like I said, why, teacher, why not? Just because you are Jewish. There's no other excuse. So I went home the same day, I told mom and dad, and you know how they felt right away. Now I gotta tell you, that time we really didn't know what goes on in the world. We didn't have cell phone, we didn't have phone, we have radio, we didn't have newspaper, nothing to really know that time what goes on in the world. It's beyond your imagination how the world was, to certain places was far back, right? So we just went normally, and I couldn't go out to play with the kids after school because I was different, but here there came out a rule. Every Jewish person must wear a yellow star. Definitely couldn't go out to play because it's hard for me to explain the kids that you're growing up with and play every day, and I don't even know, some of them don't even know what you mean because you're Jewish. What does it mean? It's pretty hard to explain, that time, whatever it is. So I tried not to go to play as much here there a little bit because the star really bored it out of my clothes. Okay, we went on just day by day normally. And my father right there stopped buying the milk, stopped going to the city, and stopped buying merchandise. So mom and dad was in the store. One day, two German soldiers walked in and they started taking stuff from the shop. We had like built a shop. And as they walked out, my father approached them. He said, "Gentlemen, you got to pay for it." They grabbed my father, put him behind the building and beat him up. That was the last day he walked into the store. Right there, we knew something going on, but we had no idea what it is. And nobody. Let me tell you something. Today, father and mother talks to a child, 2 days old, they talking to him. That time, parents did not talk to the children just what the child had to know, which wasn't too much, right? So, my father and mother didn't say nothing to me. They just went on. Life invaded. I don't know for what, because we had no idea what's going on. All right, one early Saturday morning, the air said the Germans did everything in the Jewish holiday. The reason is because that time we didn't go to work more than 2-3 miles with a bicycle with no cars. A car pulled in maybe once in a while after the school. The kids surrounded the car and looked at the car. Right? So we just sat again and waited. Then one early Saturday morning again, they did everything in Jewish holiday because they knew in Jewish holiday everyone that lives there home. Because that time you only had 3 miles, 4 miles to work with a bicycle. So you were home every night and you were home every Jewish holiday. Right? So one early Saturday morning, 2 German soldiers knocked at the door, or still dark. So my father wouldn't approach the door. Mom went. She was ready. They told her, bring up the family. Dress them as much you want, as many you want. You got to keep moving on. What the excuse was, I do not know. And you can only take 30 kilos. That time we had no suitcases, so everybody's mom grabbed a pillowcase and gave us clothes to put on, 2 shirts, 2 pair of pants, because whatever we got on and didn't count for the weight, and put in the pillowcase stopped and was ready. We walked us over the 2 German soldiers. On the unpaved road there was a farmer with a carriage. We got on a carriage and the farmer's road was an empty lot, was surrounded with about 3 feet barbed wire. And while we pulled in, every family got a tent, like when you go camping. And we just again sleep knowing nothing. I don't believe the neighbors or anyone really knew anything was going on. But you know what? When we walked over, my father was the last one to come home because he wouldn't push himself. So the German soldier said to him, lock the door, hold on the key to the keys, because you want to reopen it. She never did. Right? So as we arrived to a surrounded field area, that was the ghetto they called it. Right? Everybody got a tent, and there were a lot of families right there bringing in every day more and more. Till one day, there was, again, carriage came by, we got on the carriage, again with the pillowcases, whatever, and they drove us next to our railroad station. At the railroad station, there were empty cars. Cars like they carry merchandise. Most of you seen them, blue, white, or red, or whatever, metal cars, and they told us to get on the cars. So we just went in the car, we did what we were taught. We sat down. In the car, approximately 50 or 60 people were sitting. We had enough room to sit down and not enough room to lay down. It's amazing that everybody was quiet because, again, repeat, I don't believe anybody knew anything goes on. everything came so fast with the students and all that. As the cars were there, the German soldier jumped up, and this cars had metal doors. So he closed the metal doors as one car was filled up, closed the metal doors, and he was holding on. And then a train came by and took all the cars and connected to the train. So we started moving. As we started moving, we stopped in almost every railroad station. By that time, they had already cars packed with Jewish people. That's all they had to do, connect the car to the train. The train became a long, long train. That's the way we went on. Now, I gotta tell you, this kind of cars have no restaurant. So they took a blanket and buckets in the corner. If nature calls, you can't say no. So every time we stopped, they emptied the bucket and they brought it back in. That was our restroom in the train, right? As we keep going again, they keep putting more and more cars. By the end was a long car. Before our destination, right? And the inside didn't say nobody, I didn't hear nobody say anything, because I don't believe anybody knew anything. First, the soldier came on the train, at next stop he went over, another one came on. After a while, I realized, I heard that they didn't want the soldier to be too long on the train. We thought that maybe we would find out where we're going, so maybe some of us, which happened, to jump over, we don't want to go. But we just keep going. As we have almost arrived to our destination, the train stopped, two German soldiers jumped up and they said to us, give up all your valuables because we are arriving to your destination. And if they're going to find any valuables on you, you're going to be punished. So that time, ladies and gentlemen, we had no diamond ring, we had no diamond earring, they had really nothing. If somebody maybe had some money, was hidden in his clothes, but they didn't give up anything. So they were not happy. As you're sitting, they stepped between you and took the pillowcase or bag, whatever it was, and they dumped it on you. They picked what they wanted, and the next station we got out, and a new soldier came on. So overnight we continued going. In the early morning we arrived to our destination. It was Auschwitz. I'm sure most of you not already heard about Auschwitz, right? So we arrived to Auschwitz and the train stopped. Came a long train. The sliding doors, they opened up and that's all you heard. Dog barking, children crying, growing up screaming, and gunshot, and they told us get off from the train. So as you get off from the train, everybody tried to grab the package, which I know. I grabbed the pillowcase, they said just leave it, it's going to be delivered to your destination. We jumped off, as we jumped off, they separated us. Ladies went totally to the right. Next to them was men. The next to them was handicapped, grandmas, grandpas, pregnant ladies, or whoever looked like for the German soldier that is not capable to work and totally to the right, every handicap, whatever. They grabbed children from mother's hand, infants and children, and they handed it over to the ladies, to the handicapped ladies, totally to the right. If some mother was strong enough and really didn't want to give up, I guess he got beat, whatever, but still didn't want to give up. The child, they took mom with the child totally to the right, to the handicapped. Right there, we just waited, and then we were taught the ladies went in first, then we went, they took us in. No, Felix Matroda, the camp was divided. The camp was divided A, B, C, D. In between each camp, there was barbed wires. In the middle, between the barbed wires, there was a road where German jeeps used to go up and down with a mounted machine gun. Right, in case someone was wrong because you couldn't, so you know what happened, right? So we went on from there. They told us, man, come on, let's go. We're going to go into a big building to take a shower. Before we got into the big building where the yard, they said, get undressed. No, all men. No kids, no children. I was still holding on to my father because I must have been, growing up in the corner, must have been tall and looked strong. But below me, a generation, ladies and gentlemen, they're not here, they never came back. Because if you were short or you were, they didn't ask you the age, they didn't ask you, they separated, they took you over to the handicap. Right? I was holding on to my father, we walked in to a big yard, they told us to get undressed. They mark your clothes because you're gonna come back to the clothes. Every step by step, they were so well organized with lies that somebody tried to believe them. So we got undressed. My father put a big hat on the clothes, I put a shoe standing up, and there was, I thought, even if we ever would come back to the clothes, there's no way you could get to the clothes. Could you picture hundreds or maybe thousands clothes was packed one to the other? We walked into a long building, and there were already barbers that came from Poland with transport before. They cut every part of our hair out and body, and as we continued going inside, there were picnic tables, 6 foot, 8 foot on the side, and the first threw me a jacket, a striped jacket, which I'm sure most of you seen it. The next one threw you a pair of pants. The third one gave you a pair of shoes. Never I seen the first time in a wooden shoe. They didn't care fit or not fit. You walked out to the yard, you start getting there. I'm still with my father holding his hand, right? So as we start getting dressed and they came in, they announced that if your clothes does not fit you, look around. Maybe you can exchange with somebody you don't care. I looked around, I seen a gentleman try to put the clothes tight. I walked up on my father maybe 20 feet. I gave him my clothes, he put it on, I put his clothes on. Ladies and gentlemen, I couldn't find my father. The last time, and I let them go, that's when I see him. Which I give examples for teenagers, for kids. You go most of the time to a museum park, right? You go down or Joan or whoever it is, you start whistling, screaming, holler after a while. He or she answered, and you get together. Over there, you couldn't even open your mouth, because if you were hard and you even thought talking to someone, the German soldier had a black stick, which I heard the policeman used to years back here, or maybe they still have it, and he beat you up. So we didn't say, they separated, I used to say kids, but teenagers, approximately 35, 40, and aside, and then they told us, right, that we're gonna go back, and they're gonna take us to the camp, the barracks. Each camp had 32 barracks, 16 on one side, 16 on the other side. Each barrack had 32 bungalows, not like we have home. 3 layers, wooden bunk bed, and we used to load, you had to run and pick up get your place, because 6, after a while, when the barracks was filled up, the gates closed, and they went to the next one, till eventually the transfer, they filled up the whole camp. Right there, the ladies were taken, and they were put in the A camp, right? So we seen from the B camp, I guess they got different clothes type too. I don't know what happened before, they took a shower or not. I know we didn't. So they were on the A camp, which between each camp there was a room. The lock would go up and down, and each camp was divided by barbed wire. Could be some 8 or 10 feet, I'm not sure how high. And as we walked in, the old man, and some of us seemed to over the street, the other side, mother, sister, or whatever, He ran over to the barbed wire and started hollering, Gene or whoever. And the minute he touched the barbed wire, he never moved again. I'm sure we all know what 120 voltage can do to you if you touch it. It was 480 voltage in the barbed wire. They didn't have to be worried that somebody gonna try go over to the other side, because we didn't. From there on, we went into the barracks. Like I said, we had to take place in the bunker and waited till afternoon. The whistle blew. We went out in the afternoon. We stayed. They called it appel. We stayed like the army stayed. 5 in the winter, maybe 10 or 12 in the land. And as you stayed, there were German soldiers went between the lane and stepped and looked at your face. Anything he didn't like. You just lost your mom, lost dad, or whatever, or your mother, or your daughter, or whatever. Even if you see him, your tears. That's all he had to do. Raise his hand. 4-5 German soldiers followed them. They grabbed you and they took you in a different barracks. Okay? So there we were. Let me go a little bit further. You know, like I said, the handicap was grandma, pregnant lady, anyone that they didn't, wasn't sympathetic that they feel they're going to go to work, was sent over to the handicap. They were, and they took, like I said, they took children out from mother's hand and they handed it over to one of the grandma, whoever was on the handicap side. So they walked not too far because we see the chimney. Because the crematorium wasn't too far from there, and they took the child. Every grandma or somebody gets a child in the hand, will be taking care. Even the child cried, but they didn't care about crying. Right? No, they were sitting there and waiting. After a while, they told them, please take care of the handicap next to you and take care of the baby, because we're going to get cleaned up. And every child going to go back to their mother, and every handicap going to go back to their family. Right? They were not even told to get on this. They were just told to get in a big concrete building. As they walked in, there was a metal door, hermetically closed, and ladies and gentlemen, there was no shower. There was poison gas. They waited half an hour, 45 minutes till it was quiet inside. Then they opened the doors, metal doors. There were gentlemen, picked from the transport, the civilian clothes worked there. They took the body soap, and they cut the hair and took off everything the body had on. They had anything they wanted because they were the one who walked into your pocket, but didn't mean nothing because they couldn't use it. Right? And the bodies, ladies and gentlemen, was put in the burning age in a crematorium. That was the crematorium is like a stove, just throwing it. They took infant, literally, alive or not alive, they throw them right on the edge. That would happen, and then the ashes in the back came out, right? But the ashes were not there too long because farmers, pickup truck or carriages came, waited for it, and picked up the ashes. I never knew that human ashes fertilized the field good the field. So they took it to the field fertilizing. There were no ashes remaining or nothing. That's what happened to handicap, grandma, grandpa, and the generation below me. Shorter, there was no question asked what year, who are you, shorter, skinny, and he never came back home. As we were in the barracks there, we were every morning, they called it a felon. We went out, the whistle blew, and we had to stay again, like the army, and they counted us, and from there, we got a little bit of soup, piece of bread, all right? And then we had to go and stay back in the lane, all right? As we stood in the lane again, all right, they picked people to go to work. Growing up, everyone, truck was at the gate, and at the gate, you had to walk up to the gate and get up on a truck, and they took each truck went different places to work. We teenagers were used, many was there maybe 40 or something, were used, they took us in camp, and in barracks had concrete floors. They gave us a hose, opened the spigot, we washed the floor with a squeegee, we squeegee, that was our job. But after a while, they didn't have enough growing up to send away. So they picked, I was picked, I must have been strong and healthy at that time. I was picked 3 times. Otherwise, we used to just clean the barrack. And we had to walk up to the gate, back up, get up on a truck. 2 German soldiers with 2 German shepherds jumped up in the truck. I guess they signed whatever. It was approximately 20 or 25 people in the truck. They drove us to work. We went to work to a farm, to a field. As the truck stopped, right there on the side, there were empty wheelbarrows. So let's pick up a wheelbarrow and park it wherever you wanted because the field was full of stone and rock. And you pick it up, you put it in the wheelbarrow and push it up the hill. The farm was slightly going up the hill. The 2 German soldiers with the dogs were walking up in the hill. They didn't even have to do anything because you could see beautifully down or people pushing the wheelbarrow up the hill. And they dumped it, and their other ones stood it in a truck, and after a while they found a nice clean field. And as I was up in the hill, I don't know what bothered me, wheelbarrow or something, I heard one soldier said to the other, look down there, they all called them all kind of names, pushing the wheelbarrow too slow. You know, his friend just put the gun and shot it. I watched the gentleman let the wheelbarrow go and fallen down. There was nothing. They did not have to have a permit or permission or anything to beat you to death, to shoot you, to kill you, to kick you. Because in their mind, in the SS mind was, none of us will ever go back home. That was not their purpose to bring us, to let us back home. None of us going to go home. So the sooner, I believe, they get rid of us, the sooner they be able to go home. So you avoided, even inside any barracks, even if you camp, when you are, you see a German soldier coming, you tried to go on the side, under the side of the barracks. But then they picked healthy, young, not young people, smart people, they call them couple. Every morning they had a meeting, and they told them what they want you to do. If you didn't do it, that's was your last day. So they did a dirty job. If we asked them, you are doing, why do you do it? Why you feed it? Because that's what I was taught to do. It was survival I had to do. So that's the real life, like I said, they, whatever they wanted to do, were able to do it without any permission, without any question, and you definitely couldn't ask no question. There was no such a thing, doctor or something, you put a finger, you probably got a headache. The minute any little thing you complained, you went to another barracks, right? And from there, they took every 3-4 nights. The siren came on in the camp. When the siren came on, you had to be in your bed. And the gate was closed. The lock pulled in, backed up to the barracks, with the handicapped, with the people that they could already like, and they were driven straight to the crematorium. And like I said, there were Polish people working there, they came before, and we just ran on. No, we got in the morning a little bit watered down soup, and we got a piece of square bread, but normally after a while when you got the bread, you put it in your mouth because next to you the guy would grab it. Not because he was mean, because he was hungry. And I tell always in school, ladies and gentlemen, there is nothing worse feeling than being hungry. Not that you didn't have breakfast or dinner, you didn't eat a day or two, you really were starving. Right? So we just went on. So after a while, they said that we got to move on. Because I believe the war kept coming closer to us. We started walking. As we walked through the field to another camp, which was 5,000. There were no, it was only transit camp because they used to bring in more civilians before they not even other nations. Soldiers appear on the so that was a transit. But we were there not for long, maybe 2 weeks. From there on, we had to go on walk further. We walked through the fields again. By that time, people were weak. And you know, as you walk in, they see you, they have no more strength to walk. They told you, whoever was being taught, the soldier, just sit down on the side and a truck gonna come, gonna pick you up, gonna take you to your destination. That's what happened. People didn't have enough strength to walk. They sat down, they waited. The truck came, they put them on a truck, ladies and gentlemen. The truck made a U-turn and it ran back to Auschwitz. Now I have to tell you what happened to people that couldn't do anything about it. We were in Mauthausen again for a while. From there, we continued to go on was Kunstgriffen. I asked you, I guess it's hard to spell, if you get on a computer, please, because everyone was dead camp, but Kunstgriffen was a real dead camp. Just open up the computer, put in Kunstgriffen camp, you're going to see what happened. Kunstgriffen, there was, we never had a shower. We were already full of lights, and we were weak. You know, it's an elder or weak person sit down in a chair, then it's hard to get up. The picture, there was nothing but trees and rain and nothing but trees and mud. The mud was so deep, you put your feet in, you pull it up, the shoes remain. The shoes remain in the mud, right? So people were just sitting down in the mud and never moved again. Laid down in the night, every night. A lot of dead bodies was picked up. And a big shovel, like you see here, the snowball was picked up. And by that time, we were full of lights. Ladies and gentlemen, we stepped over dead bodies. You looked at the dead body on the floor, if you felt like his jacket is cleaner than yours, you grabbed him by the arm, turned them over, maybe he was still alive. This one nobody cared, and he took his jacket, he took your jacket and threw it down. Because they used to say the lights help us to move. As we went on for a while, it was bad food, we got on, so they ordered down soup, and like I said, a little piece of 3-inch square bread, and that's the way we went on. Kunstgriffen was a real dead. You see dead bodies all day long there. If someone was lucky, if they didn't pick up a person, left it there, so someone had somewhere to sit down, maybe even lay down. Right? So that's what Kunstgriffen. Please look it up and you will see that when the war was over, the liberators couldn't go in because the smell was so bad. Now in Kunstgriffen, you had no restroom. And you know, it was all men. If some man stood next to the tree, you got shot. Because they talk to you, there is a big board, whatever it is, enter the other side of the barrack, there where you gotta go. But nobody had time to go. So we just picture when you're standing, dressed, you gotta go, you go. Doesn't matter. The picture after a while, all the camp smelled and all the people are feeling. There would be at the gate, there was about 10 drums, the 55-gallon drum, like the contractors used, blue, white, and green, We thought there's water. We all hope maybe we can get close to them and put a thumb in, start a little bit water. But even if you could, you cannot open the drum without a tool. But we never even, because we knew there's a German soldier walking around with a rifle, and so nobody even thought to go there. Over there, we only had a 3-inch industrial fence. So amazingly, kids asked me, was only 3 feet high, why couldn't you renovate? Pretty hard to explain, because once you stepped over the fence, you got shot. The other hand, where would you go? With your striped clothes, because the minute you walk up to a regular home and you knock at the door, the family just closed the door back on because they knew if they attack anyone and the German soldiers find out the whole family gonna get killed. So nobody even tried to renovate because you had nowhere to renovate, just continued going on. So one day, the people start screaming, we don't have no soldiers behind the gate, behind the fence. So by this time, I don't think we really cared much because, ladies and gentlemen, at that time, there was nothing left up here. We just knew the hope was that maybe we're going to get another meal. That's all you want hope. Again, repeat, nothing worse than hunger, than surviving for hunger. So that's all you waited. If they ask you what was my hope, wait, what was I waiting for? Just for another meal, if I get there, right? So all of a sudden they start hollering, there is no guard outside the fence, we didn't see anything, so people in the gate opened up. So people start walking, whoever was able to walk. I know I start walking out, I don't even remember who walked with me, who was next to me. We knew that the drum cannot be opened up. We keep walking till we arrive to a main street. But you know, each main street, in the United States, they have a side of the street, they have a big water there. Big tank, not tank, but the word, they guide the water down. In Europe, they had like an alley, sand, and they were training there, the water went down. We arrived to a main street, was the day from the war. Day from the war, you know, that's all you see on the main street, tanks, trucks, motorcycles going by. So we just laid down, and we were 4 or 5 of us laid down on the sand and looked up on the main street. Even if nothing was wrong, there's no way we had not stand to walk on the other side. And so I laid down right on the sand and looking up. The tank, I guess, was an American tank, or I don't know what it was, or not anymore German, stopped. The lid opened up and a tall soldier looked up and seen us laying on the floor. He picked up a container, that's all they carried, and he opened it up, or was open, with hamburger meat. I believe that's what the army took that time. I don't know, was cooked or raw, whatever. But he threw the container on the side of the sand, and you know, part of the meat came out. So I climbed up to the meat and grabbed a handful of meat with sand. Right? That's the last thing I remember. I woke up in Munich hospital with typhus. The hospital was already filled up by the time. It's ready for family, a couple or a lady or man walked in, and he said, can I take this young guy with me? The nurses said they were happy, but they knew this gentleman going to be safe. My brother wound up in Montreal, Canada. He never knew how he wound up. He was older. He passed away a few years ago. So a lot of people came back. They didn't know how they came back. From there on, they transferred us to closer home rehab, which was Budapest. So I went to Budapest, and after the second rehab, ladies and gentlemen, maybe I weighed 80 pounds. My uncle came by, they hadn't really find out, he took me home, and we could not go back to our home. Because my uncle's home was demolished, with his wife and 3 kids never came back. Total level, our home was given away to a lady with some kids, so that she didn't even let us into the yard. So we slept we stood on a field behind the building, and my uncle used to go in every day to the village and bring me some food. So one day he said, you can't stay here no longer, you gotta keep it. At that time, no Czechoslovakia was Ukraine. Ladies and gentlemen, they were mean. Not they were mean. Nobody wanted to see us. Nobody had an idea about where we were or what we were. I know whoever got a home and knew it's going to be his because we never coming back home. They didn't want to see us home. Right? So nobody, the Ukrainians, they weren't mean. So my uncle said, we got to keep moving on. My sister came home earlier. He took them to Czechoslovakia, right? And she was already married. You know, that time in Jewish religion, you couldn't just say John and Joe, whatever, about let's live together. You know, the Jewish law was you have to get married. It's the only way you can live together. So my sister was already married. My uncle worked in a meat factory, was somewhere, so I stood with them for almost 2 years, when every day with a bicycle for some work, whenever I got the money, I gave it to my sister. And that's the way I went on. In 1948, came out a law, a rule, people, if every Jewish person over 16 or 17, I'm going. If you want to go to Israel, you can give your passport, go both ways. I had nothing to lose. I went to Israel, and I was there from 48 to 59. 59, I came to the United States. And later on, the family got together, and I had many businesses. I started the life all over. And today, we got 3 kids, 4 grandchildren, 7 great-grandchildren. There is pretty hard. In 45 minutes to tell a story what happened in 2 years, but I hope you both got something out of it. Like I said to younger people too, that's all you gotta remember. Gas chamber and a crematorium. But that's what happened to 6 million Jewish people and 5 million others went through that which never came back. Thank you for listening.
Hi, thank you for talking. Have you been back to any of the places where you grew up or the camps when you came to America?
Yes, we have been. We took the family back.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was there with 9 family members. They left the FedEx, they left a few things for New Zealand. I saw it there. I was there twice. Wasn't present, but I had to take the family to see it.
Thanks so much for telling your story. When you were in Auschwitz I, did other people know what was going on in Birkenau in the gas chambers? Was that
I
known?
don't believe that anyone else knew. Beginning, you hope maybe a week, 2 weeks, a month, you're going to go back home. But later on, you somehow, your mind, like I said, you lost everything. You knew later on that you won't get back home. So the hope was again, But I'll be here tomorrow and I'm gonna get some food. That's all I want.
What's your reaction to the White House spokesman distorting history and saying even Hitler didn't use chemical weapons?
You know, it's quite hard to answer. I don't like to get into politics, but till today, I'm sure you heard there is a lot of deniers. And I would ask the question, what would I say to a denier? Ladies and gentlemen, I wouldn't even stop talking to him. Because whatever I would say wouldn't mean anything. Because his mind is made up. Maybe he knows that he's lying, but they like to belong, they like to be mixed up. I have nothing to say to him.
What are your thoughts on intervention in Syria?
You know what, I really don't want to go in. I was in Israel from 48 to 59. I was there in 2 wars, 48 wars and 56. And I really don't even want to come to conclusion. Thank you for the question. We're not going. All right. Thank you very much.